know, it is a true honor and inspiration as an Indigenous woman to be able to meet and be inspired by someone like you and your wife. So thank you very much. Manahu, Inaniane Ana Hohag, Payahunadu Nu Agimana, Nu Numahupi. Since time immemorial, people have kept culture and language alive by passing down oral stories and traditions for generations and generations. Today, our young Indigenous people continue the tradition as they share our story with the world. My name is Anna Hohag. I am a Paiute woman from the Bishop Paiute tribal community, and I am here to tell you my story. I come from Bishop, California, or in our Numa language, the area known as Payahunadu, or the place of flowing water. My people introduced, engineered, and remastered water irrigation systems throughout our entire valley, very complex networks, all the way from the eastern Sierra mountain range to the White Mountain Range to the east of that. However, when American settlers arrived, they believed our people were wasting our precious and abundant resource by not developing it. They overlooked our traditional ways, not realizing that throughout our valley, our water system not only sustained our people, but they sustained the plants, the animals, and the entire ecosystem throughout the valley. It was only 2 generations ago, not very long ago, that an aqueduct was built, which diverted our water 300 miles south to, at the time, was a desert coastal settlement called Los Angeles. Today, it is one of the largest, most densely populated cities in the world, and it also suffers from drought. With the diversion of our precious and sacred water came numerous negative and devastating effects. First, in order to build the aqueduct and gain access to our water, all the nearby Indigenous communities were removed from their ancestral lands and relocated to small reservations. These were away from our traditional homelands, all of our resources, and our sacred sites. This diversion even led to one of our valley's largest lakes, or drying up of one of our largest lakes, in only 10 years. And today, it is the single largest source of dust pollution in the country. You see, once the water began to leave the valley, so too did the animals and plants. The ecosystem began to fail, with much of our culture and language of our people. You see, for Indigenous communities, our land and our water are the sacred foundation of our cultural identity. Can you imagine stories about our lush wetlands, about our water highways, and our place names without the water itself? You know, being Indigenous, we don't get to grow up learning about our own history in school. So it wasn't until being exposed in college about our colonial history that started me on my path to law school here at the university, where I study Indigenous Peoples Law and Policy. And now I get to serve on the National Native American Law Students Association National Board. We are the next generation of tribal leaders, policy and lawmakers, United Nations experts, and who knows, perhaps the next Indigenous president of the United States. Recently, my community created a film called Paya, the Water Story of the Paiute, documenting our ancestors' sacred relationship to our water, how they cared for the land for thousands of years, and the injustices of the last 150 years. The film has been showed to hundreds of people from cities across the US, from California to Vermont, and tomorrow you will get a chance to see it here in Arizona. We took this film recently to the largest conference in the US on federal Indian law, and many students, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, from numerous universities, joined us as allies. Together, we are researching for a second film to document the journey to reassert our rights, our human rights, and the responsibility to our sacred paya, our word for water. You see, I'm only one of many people who are standing up for our Mother Earth, for our ancestors and what they fought for, and for our future generations, for all of us in this room today. We aim to bring about healing and change at a time when it is needed the most. So I ask you, please share our film, please share our story, because preserving our culture and our traditions is in fact protecting our natural world and our planet. Thank you.